one thing when you think about disaggregation, the easiest way to think about it is 20 years ago, everyone had their home loan with their bank. Now I don't know anyone, including myself, who has their home loan with their bank. I go through a broker. There's too many options, too many good deals that you just had to find it yourself. You have to find, okay, who is this? This is a guess. X is a fee for service that works with CEOs and management of emerging companies to help them clarify and achieve their company's growth goals. Help their clients identify and resolve issues that might be holding them back, make the right strategic decisions to successfully reach new levels of performance and profitability. If you're facing some new situation or decision that will impact the future of your company, chances are you've seen it before and know what needs to be done. Whether you're stuck at a plateau or growing too fast or lost your focus, we can help you avoid the common pitfalls of business growth and steer your company to new levels of performance. We typically conduct an initial diagnostic assessment with our clients as the first step towards building a collaborative relationship. This process, called the growth strategy analysis, allows the company to assess its growth potential by identifying high-priority actions to optimize current operations and fine-tune strategies for growth. That's a lot like what you all do, right? With your clients. Anyone have any idea who this company is? This is the company's pitch. This is Inc. Magazine. Inc. Magazine, as a forum for small business owners, has actually created a separate entity called Inc. Consulting. And Inc. Consulting is out there doing these analyses, and then part of their deal is to make recommendations about where you should bank, who your accountant should be, what should your wealth accumulation strategy look like. And to me, this is fairly scary because we have a couple, in fact, I have a few customers that are in Inc. fastest growing 500, and Inc. will tell you the reason they started the service was to keep the fastest growing 500 from not becoming like Peters and Waterman's in terms of excellence group, where they were all gone several years later. And I had a customer just tell me point blank, because the kind of things that they're doing for the company is, Brad, I like Wells and I like all the products and everything you're doing, but if they tell me to go someplace else because it's the right thing for my business, I'm going, because you guys haven't done this for me. And so, there's this convergence, and I mean, it's a Pick magazine that's doing this, and they're trying to go not only head-to-head with us, but head-to-head with you all. And it just jumps out at me. We start talking about the future of capital and what we're going to do in terms of loans, financial services, etc. Going back to that slide about that $10.5 trillion of transfer we're trying to insert ourselves. Next slide, please. So, I guess the only thing I would ask you about financial services and banks is, can I at least keep my coffee pot, because it looks like everything else is getting yanked apart. Originally, disintermediation of this idea of people, taking pieces of the business was on a product-by-product basis. Leasing companies, finance companies. Now what's happening is you're seeing it get pulled apart at its functional components. E-loan on the internet is handling the originations. Credit assessment, they're outsourcing to a bank. The underwriting, they're probably using a bank. Funding, they're using other sources. So you're seeing each piece of this now below the product level getting pulled apart. The actual processes themselves. All this shows is only 10% of customers' capital needs were met by bank loans in this period of time. I believe this is 96, this is 95, 52 billion. And this is a decision tree. If you want over 25 billion, get corporate bonds of 303 billion worth of activity during that period of time. What's interesting is you can say, well, that's usually just large companies. Moody's, as of 1996, had started to rate companies down to $10 million in sales. If I double check today, that number is probably a lot lower, and to me that's mind-boggling. A $10 million company, having dealt with lots of $10 million companies, those are big, small businesses, but you're talking about getting money directly from the capital markets. To me, that's amazing. One high loan to value, of course, go to an equipment lease plus a off balance sheet. One longer term, private placement, collateral fluctuates in value with factoring or asset-based loans. High growth, low cash flow, venture capital, private equity. And then if all else fails, get a bank loan. That's essentially where things are at. And I would say again, you guys, you're out here, and these options are all at your disposal. The challenge for me is, fortunately with Norwest, because they have most of these, the new Wells Fargo, they have most of these, is to make them all compelling enough that you'll at least keep me in front of mind when you're making those decisions with clients. Next slide. Loyalty, basically, this shows the percentage of deals that were booked that went back to the incumbent providers. 57% of the time they go someplace else now. Next slide. The product-focused customer of the future, between 1994 and 1996, of the companies below $10 million, 46.5% of them started to use more than one financial institution. Each piece of credit business under $10 million in sales gets shopped to 2 providers on average. That's, again, it's going to pick up speed as the information gets better and the access to it gets faster. Cash management, same dynamic. It's almost half now. And that, that was the most painful process to switch, because you're talking about new checks, and you just get embedded with someone. And it's really hard to imagine. I can't imagine switching my personal checking account, let alone a commercial account, and half the time. Annually. It's getting shocked. Very interesting. We used to get a large percentage of cash that would come with the credit. So you always let the credit. Just get the credit, the cash will follow, and that will subsidize it. And a lot of times where people would place that, in fact, I used to, in 1992, I would be out trying to sell credit, and I would start trying to sell a checking account, and I would be told, well, let's see what you can do on the credit first. Now, what this shows is it's only 16% of the time that matters. Because there's such good cash management business out there. The products and services that are available that, I can get my credit anywhere. Let's talk about your cash management, because I'm going to shop that separately. It's not a package deal anymore. Yeah, this is absolutely true, and you have such an advantage here. Our challenge as a company is to create experiences that are meaningful to the customer. If you sell a product, they get commoditized now. The average life is 2 years to commoditize a product. Our business line is a classic example. We had an open playing field, prime plus 6, prime plus 7. Now everyone's in that business, so it's not growing at the same clip. And the only way you can grow that business, a commodity business at the same clip, is take more risk. It's not compelling anymore. Experiences are compelling. That's why your clients don't shop you every single year, hopefully. Is because you have a connection with them that's not just every single little thing. If we don't have those experiences, we get shopped, and we do get shopped. When you have an unprofitable product, all this shows it's only 5% of the time you can sell your way out of an unprofitable lead these days. So 95% of the time, if you enter a relationship on a loss leader basis, it stays a loss. Yeah, the growth in non-banks has not been because they're cheap either. Their average, again, it goes back to being compelling and having features that are meaningful. It's not just price, because their average spread over their cost of funds is 466 basis points. Ours is 336 basis points, so we're cheaper. All in. Yeah, sorry.
How do you reconcile that last statement? It sounds a little bit incongruent here, where we're saying that in this techno age, that the customer is more sophisticated price shop. You basically go e-online or whatever and say, gee, there's the cheapest product. And yet you're saying that their margins are higher, and it's, as a result, if I'm hearing you right, their pricing as opposed to their cost structure.
Yeah.
And it seems a little inconsistent if everyone's looking for the lowest price deal.
Yeah.
Similar to perhaps phone, long distance rates, whatever, where the company is this big nothing out there, and you're just comparing price to price.
Yeah, I think there are a few. I'll give you like three different bullets on that. I think price. You talk about all-in price. So when a customer becomes very price conscious, some of our competitors do a very good job at making the customer understand what they're taking out of their business. So a factor is hellaciously expensive by our standards in terms of what a customer pays. Yet, when they don't have to have someone collect their receivables and they can take people off staff to do that, the internal savings generated by the customer are such that the customer says, well, net of it all, it's less expensive to me. So if they were price shopping, by the time all the analysis is in, they'll take a higher price here rather than our lower price, because they still have to have a